Legion of Superheroes number 10, written by Paul Levitz, art by Francis Portela and Andre Guinaldo. Last issue left off with Brainiac 5 and Dreamgirl being kidnapped by the Dominators, and I think it was Star Boy or something like that, quitting the Legion because the Legion was officially told, hey, don't interfere. This issue picks up with a Cosmic Boy approaching the Dominators, or the Dominion, as it's technically called, embassy, and basically trying to break into it to figure out where the hell his friends are. And he uses his magnetism powers in order to knock out the power briefly, slip his way inside, and he uses some sort of machine or something like that to scan for data. And while he's doing so, all the power comes back on, and he's like, crap, they're going to know I'm exiting because I broke in. I got to figure out how to get out here before they reboot the alarms. And before he's able to do anything, Ultra Boy, I believe it is, Ultra Lad, Ultra Guy, Joe Nuh is his human name. I remember that one because it was dumb. He swoops in, he grabs him, and basically escapes. People in the embassy saw them. They know that they broke in, but they're like, at least they're out now and they're away from there. So then we cut back to the Dominion where Brainy and Dreamgirl are both basically coming to. They're in a room with beds. Like, they are prisoners, but they aren't, being tortured or anything like that. Although Brainiac does have a burn, like a laser cut on his arm, and he's not sure what that's for, except for tissue harvesting or something like that. But basically, Brainiac's just starting to look over the room, seeing if there's anything he can use to get out of here. And Dreamgirl just said, like, all right, well, I'm going to go to bed and try to have a prophetic dream of how to get out of here. And Brainiac's like, yeah, okay, thank you. You're so much of a help. So then we see, I don't know, some sort of space court talking to Mon-El. And they're like, okay, here's the deal. There's no proof that the Dominators did this. We understand you want your friends back. However, you are causing, multiple intergalactic crises here by, continuously getting up in their face. So, laying down the law now, the Legion is not to do anything regarding any of this, period. Got it? And Mon-El's like, fine, I guess. No covert or overt operations. So, they're all annoyed by that, annoyed they have to sit there and not do anything. But then we see Starboy or whatever, and his team of Triplicate Girl, Mwindaji, Otaki, who are both new trainees that didn't even get into the training process yet, and Bouncing Boy, who I think is retired. And they all are a team of people who are not part of the Legion, but are totally gonna go out there and find what they need. And basically, the Mon-El and Ultra Boy or Cosmic Lad are all like, you really shouldn't, I'm going to push back in the lightest way possible here, to which the team immediately pushes hard, and they're like, no, we're going to do this. We're going to go save our friends, and there's nothing you can do to stop us. So, yeah. Cut back to Brainiac and Dreamgirl. They're getting delivered food, to which Brainiac knows they're right on schedule because he's able to keep track of time via his own biorhythms. And then Dreamgirl is just kind of grossed out by the food. And they make a little passing jab at how apparently the Dominators ranked the Legionnaires from dangerous to not dangerous, and Dreamgirl is apparently not a threat. So, yeah. Then we see basically the Legion is keeping track of that team as they're going out into deep space, and they're like, look, we can't directly do anything, but if they need help, we can step in and save them. That's a loophole. So then we see that whatever Brainiac was doing, he actually did have a plan to escape, and he made his way out into the main room along with Dreamgirl. We don't actually see this happening. They're just already out in the main room, and they're both fighting their way through a big horde. Dreamgirl gets overrun, and Brainiac does as well, and they're both immediately brought back into their room, and we're like, all right, well, maybe next time we'll be able to do something differently. But then Dreamgirl faints for a second, and she realizes, oh, I had a prophetic dream. We will be saved. And Brainiac's like, nice. However, one on the team will betray us. And then we see, I don't feel like I have to. There's just a page of the Dominator saying, yes, we're making good progress. It takes a whole page to say that, but yeah, they say that. Anyway, then we see the team flying through space, going to Dominion space in order to get back their teammates. And we see that Bouncing Boy is getting everything prepped as they enter into enemy territory. And then I guess they brought along Comet Queen, who I first, like, they just say is like stalking Bouncing Boy. Like, she's the number one leader of his fan club, and he is so not for it. I don't understand this part. This is beyond me. But regardless, yeah. So anyway, there's that. So anyway, Starboy's like, oh, well, now that everybody's here and everybody's ready, we can get to work. And he's like, they just explain the new guy's powers as well, and whatever. It's just a thing that they're ready to go. Okay. Here's the thing. It sounded disjointed, and that's because, like, I'm still having to remember 12 names here. And it's getting more and more difficult because they're all boys and lads and lasses and gals. And it's just not easy for me. That being said, there's still... I thought we were past the point. Like, that first arc, they presupposed that I knew all these relationships and all these characters already. And that's annoying. That's really bad in terms of we're coming onto a reboot. You should be reintroducing these things constantly. And they just assumed that I knew. And that was a problem. But then there was a period, a very brief period, like 3 issues ago, where I thought maybe we're past that. Maybe they have... they've introduced all the relations that I'm going to need, and they will just stay good from here on. But then they throw like this Comet Queen stuff, and they throw in like Bouncing Boy was a retired member along with Triplicate Lass, who apparently already died at some point. And it's just, they are just immediately throwing me back into, yeah, but you don't know nothing about the Legion, which we're 10 issues in, dude. Shouldn't you be telling me this stuff? Like, this should have been the entire first arc should have just been like, here's this, and this. And yes, we had that miniseries of Legion Secret Origin, and theoretically that should have done exactly that. But it didn't, because that did not introduce me to why is Bouncing Boy retired? Why did Triplicate, shouldn't be that hard to say, Lass die already? Like, all this stuff has still happened in their continuity, and I am just completely blissfully unaware of it. I say blissfully as if I'm not super frustrated right now. So, I don't know. It's just, I feel like I'm never going to get to the point in this book where I have a grasp of what's going on, because they're just going to keep on reaching deeper and deeper into the continuity that I never had access to. And that's just frustrating on my end. So, for this particular issue, I was able to follow it coherently through, even if I didn't understand the relationships between the characters. So I will at least give it a 5.5. You know what? No, 5. I got angry just talking about this book. It's just a flat 5. And that is strictly because art, fine. Not great, fine. A couple pages in here, useless. But I was at least able to follow the story, and I can sense that there are stakes here. It is a hostage rescue mission. I'm able to at least pick up what's going on, and that's worth at least just a bare minimum of 5 points, because it's not the worst.